Welcome, everybody. This is the 2024 Social Engineering Event closing ceremony. So let's get started. So we have a few folks that we have to thank. The National Science Foundation. This competition is actually directly funded by this federal agency. Also want to thank CISA, who not only financially sponsored us, but also serves on our advisory board. We want to thank NICE, the National Initiative for Cybersecurity Education, MITRE ATT&CK, the IRS, because they also served on the advisory board and helped shape this competition for you all. And finally, we want to thank the social engineering community at DEF CON, who offered a very lucrative prize for one of our winning teams, which was a guaranteed spot in their VISH contest. So thank you to all of the folks that you see here on the screen. So this event ran April through May 2024. We had about 17 teams. We usually run this in the summer, but this year we decided to move things up a little bit to see if the spring semester was more preferable to our competitors, because in the summers we've seen folks have internships and they're out and about, so it gets harder for folks to find each other and form teams. Hence, we moved it up a little bit earlier. And as you know, every year we have a different theme. So this is year 4. Our theme this year was, is someone who has approached the CARE Lab potentially dealing with an employment or tax scam. So a couple of our advisory board members could not make it, but I think Marian Merritt is in the room. Are you here? Might take.
I'm here. I was having trouble with the platform, but I'm here, yes.
Yes, excellent. So I was wondering if you had a few words for our competitors.
Oh, well, first of all, thank you all for signing up to participate in this. I think it's an educational experience for those of us on the advising end, not only to become aware of the broad array of threats that are out there for all of us to be concerned with, but the ways that we can experience them and coach people in our lives to be better able to withstand and resist falling for these types of frauds. So that was terrific. Also, the great care and attention that the competitors demonstrated in approaching, the potential victim, their friends, family, what have you. If this was a real world CARE Lab, I would feel very well taken care of if I were one of those people. So really want to appreciate the hard work that everyone put into it. Yeah, it was a great experience for us as well. So thank you.
Thank you. We're hoping to snag you again for next year's event, but more to come. I don't think our other advisory board members could make it because, interestingly enough, they're all doing different things in different parts of the country. So, but I do have a couple of notes that I was asked to share with you. So from Jamie Williams with the MITRE Corporation, he wanted me to let you know on his behalf that all of you were, quote, awesome, and that he was extremely impressed by how much they put into each and every step. And so I just wanted to make sure I got that message on to you. We're going to move on to the next slide. So a couple of reminders again, all right? So do not share, discuss, disseminate the flags or anything associated with this event. You've all signed waivers, right? So make sure, if you have any questions, always check in with us first. And this is also part of sort of our requirement with, this is a federally funded project, taxpayer dollars. So again, please, don't misuse, abuse any of the information that was given to you, or also your knowledge. Please do not use it in a bad way because you've all signed ethical waivers, right? So use the knowledge that you've gained here for good. So with that, I'm actually going to pass it off to Rachel to take us further into today's proceedings.
Awesome. Thanks, Anshul. So this is just a little bit about what you're going to see today, how this will work. I'm going to talk a bit about the context and inspiration for this year's theme and the case study that we looked at. And then we'll talk a bit about each of the 3 days. I'll reveal who exactly you were speaking to when it was, Sam or Sam's friend, and some of our favorite moments from those 3 days. We'll also do some shout outs for some of the really cool stuff that we saw from specific teams that we just wanted to share with everyone. And then the moment that everyone's waiting for will be at the end. So stay tuned for when we reveal the winners. All right. So for the context of inspiration, this year's theme for tax scams, employment scams, came from the IRS's Dirty Dozen list of tax scams for 2023. And we had some teams ask about this in the informal debriefings, and we told them, you'll have to find out in the closing ceremony. So here it is. This actually was based on a real case study. There was a student at Temple University who unfortunately fell for this scam and fell victim to it, gave away all that information that you guys all told Sam not to give. And so all of the evidence that you saw, from the initial job invitation email to the interview exchange to that job offer letter and those attachments, all came from a real case study. This Temple student was kind enough to share all of that info with us. So all of that you saw was real, and it's how a real scam plays out. So you guys kind of got that real experience there.
And just real quick before I forget,
Yeah.
This is also part of the reason why we say, do passive OSINT, right? Because this was an actual case study. So at no point were you supposed to engage with any of the people that you found through LinkedIn or email any of the email addresses, right? Because this was very much based off of a case study, number one. And number two also is, this is why we have those ethic waivers, right? And code of conduct waivers. So you don't go do something like that. So just a little bit more of the reasoning behind why we do these types of things. Sorry, Rachel, go ahead.
No, thank you. All right. So now we're going to get into each day. Again, who you were interacting with and some of our favorite moments. So on day one, you all met with Sam's friends. Some of you met with just one friend, some met with multiple friends. So who were you actually interacting with? Depending on which track you were in, which team you were interacting with one of these people. So it could have been Austin from CISA, could have been Jamie from MITRE, Anastasia from CISA, Marion, who you just heard from NICE, or it could have been me or Anshul from the Care Lab. So we were all the different people who played Sam's friends, got a little acting experience in through that. So some of our favorite moments from day one, we all really enjoyed the thoroughness of the questions that you all asked. That was, kind of the point of this first meeting on day one, was for you all to ask questions, get an understanding of what's going on. And you all did just that. So some of the common questions that we saw on day one were questions about where Sam posted their resume to begin with, what was on that resume, what Sam's major was, or what skills they had that aligned with the job posting, if they heard anything else from the company, any other communication, any past jobs that Sam's had, which you all know was not much. And of course, questions about the time frame, right? So that you all could develop that timeline. We also really enjoyed how you all handled this meeting using tactical empathy. Some of the time, Sam's friends were not all in agreement. I think especially for the undergrad track, there was a bit of arguing between Sam's friends. Some were in support, some were not. So all of the teams handled, that tiff between the friends really well. We have a quote here from one of the teams who really demonstrated that tactical empathy. They said, "We're all on the same page. You all care about Sam. We're here to support her and provide insights." So you handled that beef well. So nicely done, all the teams, for that one. So I'm going to pass it off to Anshul now to talk a bit about day two.
Right. And thanks, Rachel. And so if you notice in that quote, Sam was referred to as her. We kept Sam gender neutral because we didn't know who was going to be playing Sam or Sam's friend. So we needed a name that could be a Samantha, a Samuel, who knows, right? So day 2, again, remember all of the chat exchanges that you encountered, right, in part 1, and then the notification, all of that was based off of the student's experience verbatim, right? So we didn't really change any of the information that was in there because we wanted to use a case study as is. So if we go to the next slide, right? So this day, who played Sam? Again, it depended on which track, but we had Austin, Anastasia from SZA, we had Jamie from MITRE, and then of course, Rachel and myself. And we really, really enjoyed playing Sam because as many of you have figured out, Sam was extremely difficult this day, right? Sam did not want to cooperate. And many of you during the informal debriefs actually shared with us that this whole experience was different in the sense, yes, it's social engineering, but it also felt like consulting, right? And that's also an experience that we wanted to give you because not all clients are friendly or compliant when you're trying to guide them. So how do you do that in a professional way while trying to collect evidence to make your case, but also guide them through this without hurting their feelings or insulting them in any way? So it's a very, very tricky thing to do. So we wanted to also see how you were doing that in addition to the expected components, right? Are you identifying all the red flags in time, and are you saying what you need to say at the right times and things like that? So let's see what happens. So we saw a lot of teams demonstrate that excitement for Sam because Sam was very excited, right? And so a lot of teams displayed mirroring where they felt that enthusiasm with Sam, right? So some quotes, for instance, that we heard, yeah, we're super excited for you. We're really excited about this opportunity. But at the same time, also, being cautious and saying, well, we don't want to see you get hurt. We don't want to see that for you, Sam, so we're going to try our best to go through this together. And then also being assertive without being rude, right? So reeling Sam, and depending on when, which track, Sam and Sam's friend, right, back into the current moment. Because one of the things that we'd also do, in addition to maybe agree or disagree, is we would digress. So how do you get us back on track and navigate us through the interview? Some of our favorite, real-time red flag identifications that we saw across, again, all teams. Oh, this must be scripted. It's a bot that you're having this chat-based interview with, because it asks you after you've entered your responsive type and done, right? So that's probably a cue for the bot to know to proceed. The inconsistent names were always introduced, inconsistent company connections in the back, right? So is it Omnicell, is it HealthComp, right? Who's connected to who and how? The poor grammar, right? So there were times when teams also brought in the OSINT that they had been doing into the mix to guide Sam as the interview was progressing. The whole paycheck reimbursement scam was brought up quite a bit. Personal information, don't give that away when it asks for that address, right? Or your email or things like that. And the other thing was the interviewer being offline, right, on screen in the top that you could see. So some teams also used credible research reports to bolster their claims and give themselves credibility by using a report that was done by the Better Business Bureau. So by bringing that into the mix, both during the real-time interview and then the formal debrief the next day, that was something else that they tried to persuade Sam with. So those were some of our favorite moments. We're gonna now talk about some of the really cool things that we saw. One of the beauties of this event is, yes, we provide the scope and the sort of logistics about it, but there's a lot of creativity that we get to see from the teams every single year. It was like, oh, we never thought we were going to see something like that, but we saw it, right? You brought your A game to the table. So some of the cool things that we saw. So, and this is in no particular order. The first one was a very nice representation of the timeline for how things happened, both in the presentation and in terms of the formal report. So here was one of our favorite ones by undergraduate team Cyber Lions A. It was very clean during the presentation, but very thorough in the report, which we really, really appreciated because the presentation was intended for Sam and Sam's friends who may not be into MITRE ATT&CK mappings or care for that matter. So how do you then translate, your sort of very thorough findings into something that's easy to digest for someone like Sam or Sam's friends? So that was something that we really liked. One of our favorite pre-victimization checklists was from the undergraduate team, Super Cool Kids version 2. We really liked, again, the thoroughness of this, the organization by headers, right? Specific. We had asked everybody to give us specific checklists for Sam and then more general ones. And so this one actually checked all of those boxes. So we really appreciated that. It was very nicely done list. Rachel, over to you.
Cool. So this was one of our favorite post-victimization checklists. This was from undergrad team Who's Hacking You. We thought you guys did a really nice job on this one. You not only, said report the scam, you gave the specific links of where to report, what forms to fill out and all of that. And I in particular really liked the boxes too, to make it an actual check mark. That was a very nice touch. So that was one of our favorite post-victimization checklists. Some other cool stuff that we saw, this was from the graduate team Cypher Titans. This was a real company warning. So this was found by this team on the Omnicell Inc. website, where they have a disclaimer here about interview phishing scams. So on this actual website, they found that Omnicell explicitly stated that they would not be sending solicitations in this fashion. So that was a really nice piece of evidence found by this team. Another cool piece of evidence found by one of the teams was from BCC Defenders. They found an actual offer letter from Omnicell. So this was really cool because then you could compare it to the offer letter that Sam got and could see that they were not the same thing. So that was another really nice finding there. All right, then from the high school team, Team Minions. This was a really cool finding. I think they might have been the only team who found this one. They found that the job description that was revealed about the HR manager position in the interview was lifted verbatim from Indeed.com for just their general HR manager position. So they found that the entire thing was just copy and pasted word for word from Indeed. So another really cool finding there. All right, then this was from high school team ZLast. So this was in their PowerPoint. We thought this was a great slide, kind of figuring out why would they have you pay for your own chair and all your own equipment and get specific stuff. So we thought this slide was really good to just kind of get to the point for Sam, and make Sam think, why would they be doing this? Why don't they just buy you the chair? Or why do you have to have a specific chair? So that was really good, just kind of talking to Sam as a person, making them think like, what is happening here? All right, I'm going to turn it back to Anshul for a few more cool things we saw.
Yep. Thanks, Rachel. And so some attack mappings that we really enjoyed. So this was from the graduate team, Social Engineer Sisters. Again, very thoroughly done with techniques and procedures and examples in each one of them. A lot of attack mappings were really, really nice, but this was one of our favorite ones because of the thoroughness and the way it was laid out. So we really appreciated that. And then we also have, this was something that was very interesting. This is the first time we brought in the NIST fish scale into the competition. And across tracks, we were looking for, are people using this scale in the same way? Is there a discrepancy in how people are applying it and using it? And in some areas, we saw some consistency, but not so much. In the premise alignment category, for instance, especially for the undergraduate and graduate tracks, we saw a range of alignment rankings from weak all the way to strong, right? So this is again, so let me clarify, there was no right or wrong answer for this. We were more curious as to what we were going to see and how different people interpret the same evidence, right? And this is also one of the questions that we got asked during the informal debriefs is, did everyone get the same thing? Or did it vary across the track level? Did it vary across the teams? And the answer is everybody got the exact same case study verbatim. Because one of the things we're interested in looking at is how do different track levels do within tracks, what are the similarities and differences? And this was one of those instances where we got to get that kind of comparison. So it was a very, very interesting sort of alignment and ratings that we saw. Now, interestingly, there were 2 emails in the competition, but not all teams applied the NIST fish scale for both those emails. So that was something, that was interesting in and of itself. What was considered to be a valid one to apply the NIST fish scale for. So those were some of our shout outs, some of the really cool things that we saw. We're going to have to dig a little bit deeper, of course, once this event is over, and have more findings that we will come up with. So with that, we have Marion, if you're still here, if you had any final thoughts for everybody.
I think Marion had to drop off.
Oh, she had to drop off. Okay, perfect. So then I know, I'll take this time to say thank you again, each and every one of you, for participating in our events. It takes 2 to tango. You spent your weekend with us, and we couldn't be a competition without you. So we're really, really grateful for your participation, and we hope you had an enjoyable and a good learning experience. So with that, Rachel is going to actually take over all of the winners' announcements.
All right, here we go. So the moment everyone's been waiting for, time to reveal the winners. We're going to start with the high school teams. So in 3rd place in the high school track, we have Team VI Volt from Bimzia. Congratulations to your team. This is a $1,000 prize. So that's all right. And 2nd place in the high school track, we have Team Zed Lasso from Seaforth High School. This is a $2,000 prize. Congratulations to you all. All right. And now in 1st place for the high school track, we have Team Minions from Glen A. Wilson High School. This prize is $3,000 or that guaranteed spot at the DEF CON Social Engineering Fishing Competition that Anshul mentioned earlier. So congratulations to all of you, and great job to all of the high school teams. All right, so up next, we have the undergrad track. So for 3rd place from the undergrad track, we have Team Cyberlines B from Penn State University with the $1,000 prize. Congratulations to all of you. All right, and now for 2nd place for undergrads, we have Team Who's Hacking You from the University of Virginia for the $2,000 prize. Congrats, congrats. And now for the 1st place undergrad team, we have Team Cyberlines A from Penn State University. And again, this is that $3,000 prize or that seat at DEF CON. So congratulations and great job to all the undergrad teams. All right, and now the graduate track. So in third place, we have Team UWMCL from the University of Washington, Tacoma with the $1,000 prize. Great job. All right, and in second place, we have Team Social Engineer Sisters from Florida International University. Congratulations, it's the $2,000 prize. All right, now in first place for the graduate track, we have Team Cypher Titans from Baylor University and the University of Surrey. Congratulations. And this is the $3,000 prize or that seat at DEF for whichever first place team wants it. So congratulations to all of our winners and thank you to everyone for participating. We do have a few notes to the winners. You will be receiving an email after this about instructions and next steps on how to receive your payment. You will have to complete a W-9 in order to get the prize money. When you fill it out, please make sure that it is complete. Please make sure you have the signature and the date on there as well. That's oftentimes forgotten. And please make sure your address is correct because that is where the check gets sent out to. It will be a check. Temple sometimes takes a little while with those. So we say give it like 4 to 5 months for processing. So thank you in advance for your patience with that. It can take a little while. We'll also be following up with some information about our Care Pod, our podcast, if you're interested in coming on as a team and speaking about your experience with this event. So again, congratulations to everyone. And thank you so much for coming out and competing.
Oh, don't go yet, though. We've got a little bit more.
Yes.
So we are going to be doing this again in spring 2025. We hope you're all going to come back. We do have listservs that you can sign up for. So what is our theme? Like I said, we change the theme up every year. So next year, Rachel, our theme is suspense. Yes, critical infrastructure and social engineering. So be prepared for that. We're working very closely with CISA to bring something very, very different your way. And there might also be some AI and deepfakes in the mix. So we may be, coming back to you, and we hope you will consider us again. And with that, thank you all for your attendance today, and thank you for giving us a chance and being a part of our event.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for the.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anshul, I have one question.
Yes.
I'm just curious, at least at the university level or college level, how, if you guys are looking into like different majors, how they respond, because like Niven and myself, we come from a criminogenic background and
Yep.
others, I'm sure cybersecurity, engineering.
Yes.
So just curious about that.
Yes, and that's a great question. So interestingly, and Rachel has heard me talk about this, I don't know how many times, but we have, one of the reasons why we created this competition is because there's a lot of CTFs out there that are catered for computer science students, right? And one of the things that we want to do is, well, what do we have for liberal arts students? And so that's how this started. Interestingly, a lot of the people who still sign up for our competitions are computer science students because they don't get this kind of exposure or training in their own curriculum, so they want to try it out, right? So having said that, we do look at differences across different skill sets and teams. So I remember in our very first year, our winning team was actually a team of for the undergraduate track. Was all psychologists. They were all psychology majors, and they took in first place. We've also had teams that are mixed in the sense that we had computer science students paired with business majors who were specializing in sales and marketing. And when they got on the phone to do the Vish calls, they killed it.
Oh,
Right?
interesting.
Because they had the finesse. So we've had people who are drama and theater majors compete. We have had people who are music majors compete. We had a team that had no computer scientists, no psychologists. One was a nurse, a global studies major, and a language major. come together to compete because, and the way they even approached the event was very different because they said, well, I'm good at understanding languages and culture, so I'm going to bring that into the mix, right? Somebody else said, well, you know, we're good at understanding how, you know, I work in the healthcare sector, and I think the theme that year was healthcare when we used to do this in October. So they brought that own, you know, that skill set to the mix. So it's we don't have enough of an N to make sort of quantified statements or statistically say that, yeah, this is one way or another, but we do have enough data points to say that this is up for anyone, really. And we've had computer science majors kill this too, right? So any sort of stereotypes or mindsets that you have about who can do this and who does it well, throw it out the window because it's for everybody. It's really for everybody.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, at least like speaking for myself, I was a little bit nervous because I've never done anything related to social engineering and, you know, just picking up a lot on all the cyber stuff. So.
Right. And that's also another interesting point because that's the one thing with social engineering is it's so relatable, right? We've all experienced it. I think it's safe to say that. We've all also done it, maybe not maliciously, but we've done it. So when we talk about something that's relatable, it becomes less scary, number one, and approachable for the average person to try out. And, you know, we're having like we do these competitions, but we also go work with youth in our community. We work with the elderly in our community. We're working with previously incarcerated individuals who are returning citizens, right, who have not dealt with technology in 20 plus years and are coming back. So it's really for everyone.
Yeah.
And that's the mindset that we're coming at this with, because cybersecurity is no longer optional. It's one of those, you know, like core skills that you need to have if you want to be pretty much a good digital citizen. It's no longer optional. Yeah.
Thank you. That was helpful.
Yeah. Alan?
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity, first of all. And also, I would love to actually connect with folks here because this is a wonderful team. So please join me in LinkedIn. I just shared in the chat my contact information. My question is, remember, like we draft the video before we join the session. So can we share that? Are we allowed to share that content?
Yes, absolutely. If it was your submission, right, absolutely, you can. Yeah. Oh, Sai, yes. Did I say
Sorry.
that?
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. For the PSA we submitted, is that still being entered for the PSA competition?
It can be if you want it to be, or you can do a revise and resubmit.
Okay, I think we selected for ours to be like entered. So
Okay.
I was wondering if that was still happening, but
Yep. No, by default, we have to go through that. We haven't done that yet, but if folks selected yes, you know, we want it to be considered, then it automatically goes into the entry.
awesome. Thank you. And one other question, is there a scoring breakdown that'll be released or?
Yes and no. So
Mhm.
part of the reason for that is we do have room for subjectivity, and there's no set metrics from competition to competition because we're looking for different things, right?
Yeah.
So if there's hard science CTFs, for instance, you can, now let me sort of rephrase that. When we do OSINT challenges, we do have a clear rubric, right? So if you found the format of the email address, it's worth 5 points. If you found the blueprints of the building, it's worth 15 points. But when, you know, or whatever, I'm making up hypothetical numbers, but,
Yeah.
and when we do OSINT challenges, like on B-Sides or like Raíces Con, or we'll be at SWATCon this year, when we do OSINT challenges, it's a clear, you know, very objective grading mechanism. But when it's stuff like, how are you advising Sam as the interview progresses? There's certain things obviously that we're looking for. Like, did you say that, you know, that's clearly a red flag, like the grammatical errors. That's something we're expecting everybody to say, right? So for those things, we're like, okay, was the baseline met? And then did they go over and beyond? And if they did, or if there was something unique about the way that you did it, and part of it is we can't anticipate what that might be.
Yeah.
right? So we want to also have room for that creativity and unexpected or unanticipated
Mhm.
creativity in the mix. So we want to leave a little bit of subjectivity for that. But we do, yes, Rachel and I do the grading, but we also have our advisory board members who are commenting, right? The folks that you exchange with, they're making recommendations as well. It's like, no, we really like this, or they could have said this, right? That kind of stuff. So take all of that into consideration. And I can tell you that every year it is so hard. It is so hard because there's always one
Yeah.
team that does something really amazingly well, or they kill the real-time interaction and then their report is just not good.
Mhm.
Right? Or sometimes it's the other way around. The reports are amazing, but the real-time engagement is not good. The quality of
I
it is not
see.
good. So there's no one right answer.
Mhm.
There's no, but it's overall, how's everyone, how does each team do? So I hope that helps a little bit.
No, that does. That makes sense. Yeah, thank you for the great competition.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. Appreciate
Yeah.
it. And Joshua?
Hi, a question about the PSA. If we were to resubmit that, when would you want it by?
So
You mentioned that earlier, being able to resubmit and redo our.
right. So if you wanted to redo it, we haven't opened up the call yet. That's something we do in the month of October because it's Cybersecurity Awareness Month. So
Okay.
we'll probably open it up in August. And the submissions will probably be due mid-September or late September, because then we like to start releasing, the PSAs each day, right? Like the ones that we thought are cool, and we end with the winners. So that's how we do it.
Oh, and one more question. I
Yeah.
don't know if you recall from the informal debrief, but I had asked about I guess, a specific like a checklist of what you guys saw for each team regarding like what they can like work on, and
Right.
would it be
right.
possible to?
Yep. So you can follow up in an email, and we can, because each, or Rachel and I have our comments, but we also have advisory board members that came in and gave us their comments, so we can sort of combine them and give you
Okay.
that feedback. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but please reach out to us, because otherwise I will forget.
I will.
Yes.
But yeah, thank you for the opportunity to compete.
Thank you so much for joining us. So, this is actually the first time, Rachel, that we've had a Q&A round after the closing ceremony. So this is kind of cool. Okay, we have more questions. Amanda?
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
I just wanted to say thank you for the opportunity for allowing us to partake in this competition. It was actually a very eye-opening event. It was really tough, and it was full of surprises, to be honest. Because I didn't expect all the, like, the three people that were talking at the same time, Sam's friend, and talking over each other and everything was very confusing. We were able to go through it. So I just want to thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah. And that was very
about
much
it.
intentional. That was very much intentional. Although Rachel and I usually exchange, words like that anyway. We're always having fun, but yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions or thoughts? All right, then otherwise we are good to go. Thank you. And I see there's a message at me. So will winning teams be allowed to participate next year? If your team won first place, no, you cannot compete again. The same team members cannot compete. Now, of course, somebody else from your school can form a team and, come together. But if you won second and third place and you want to come back, you absolutely can. So, yeah. I think that was the only.
So you're not allowed to, just to clarify, you're not allowed to compete with any of those team members.
That
you
is correct,
competed
because
with.
that entire team, the composition of it, they're out. Because that
They're-
all of
okay.
them won that first place. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Okay, I think I got all the questions from the chat. All right, so we'll be in touch, folks. Thank you again, and have a wonderful Wednesday.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.